Welcome back to a bonus episode of The Digital Revolution with Jim Kunkel. Today we're going to talk about a provocative opinion piece from the New York Times, written by David Solomon, the chairman and chief executive of Goldman Sachs. The title alone is designed to spark debate. I'm the CEO of Goldman Sachs. The AI job apocalypse is overblown. In a moment when headlines scream about automation wiping out millions of jobs, Solomon steps forward with a counter-narrative, one grounded in economic history, corporate experience, and a belief that human adaptability is still the most powerful force in the labor market. Let's break down what he's really saying and what it means for workers, leaders, and the future of the digital economy. The fear versus the data. Solomon opens by acknowledging the obvious. Yes, AI is transforming work. Yes, it's automating tasks that used to be done by people. And yes, the pace is fast, faster than many organizations are prepared for. But he argues that the AI job apocalypse narrative is fundamentally flawed. Why? Because it assumes that jobs are static, that roles never evolve, that workers don't adapt, and that technology only destroys rather than creates opportunity. Solomon points to a long arc of economic history, the Industrial Revolution, the rise of computing, the Internet era. Each wave displaced certain tasks, but each also created entirely new categories of work, often larger and more complex than what came before. His message is clear. AI is another chapter in that same story. What Goldman Sachs is actually seeing. One of the most interesting parts of Solomon's argument is that he's not speaking theoretically. He's speaking from inside one of the world's largest financial institutions, a company that has been aggressively integrating automation and machine learning for years. And what does he see? Not mass layoffs, not a shrinking workforce, but a shift in what people do. Solomon describes how AI is taking over repetitive, rules-based tasks, the kind of work that slows down analysts, bankers, compliance teams, and operations staff. But instead of eliminating those roles, the technology is freeing people to focus on higher value activities: judgment, relationship building, creative problem solving, strategic decision making. In other words, AI is becoming a force multiplier, not a workforce reducer. This aligns with what we've been discussing on this show for months. The organizations that win with AI are the ones that augment their people, not replace them. The real risk isn't job loss, it's skill stagnation. Solomon makes a point that deserves more attention. The biggest threat to workers isn't AI itself, it's failing to adapt to AI. He argues that the labor market has always rewarded people who learn new tools, new systems, and new ways of working. AI is no different. The workers who embrace it will rise. The workers who resist it will fall behind. This is where his message becomes less about economics and more about responsibility for both individuals and employers. For individuals, learn the tools, understand the workflows, build digital fluency, stay curious. For employers, invest in training, provide upskilling pathways, redesign roles around augmentation, communicate transparently. Solomon's position is that companies have a duty to help their people adapt, and that doing so isn't charity. It's good business, the productivity boom that's coming. Another major theme in Solomon's piece is the idea that AI will unlock a new era of productivity, one that could rival the gains of the 1990s internet boom. He argues that when workers are freed from low-value tasks, organizations become faster, more innovative, and more competitive. And that productivity growth ultimately leads to higher wages, more hiring, new industries, new opportunities. This is a direct challenge to the AI will hollow out the middle class narrative. Solomon believes the opposite, that AI, if deployed responsibly, can strengthen the middle class by making workers more capable and more valuable. It's an optimistic view, but not an unrealistic one. where Solomon's argument meets reality. Now, let's be honest, not everyone will agree with Solomon, and there are valid critiques. Some industries will see displacement. Some companies will use AI as a cost-cutting tool. Some workers will struggle to transition. But Solomon's point isn't that AI has zero downside. His point is that the doom narrative is exaggerated and that the real story is more nuanced. AI will reshape work. AI will eliminate certain tasks. AI will create new opportunities, and the outcome depends heavily on leadership, policy, and worker adaptability. This is where the conversation needs to go next, beyond fear, beyond hype, towards strategy. What this means for you? So what should you take away from David Solomon's argument? 3 things. First, AI is not coming for your job. It's coming for the tasks inside your job. Your value is in what only humans can do. Second, adaptability is the new competitive advantage. The workers who learn AI will outperform the workers who fear it. Third, leaders must treat AI as a workforce accelerator, not a workforce reducer. The companies that invest in people will win the next decade. This is the heart of Solomon's message, and it's one that aligns with the mission of this show: to help you navigate the digital revolution with clarity, confidence, and capability. Thanks for listening to this bonus episode of The Digital Revolution with Jim Kunkel. If you found this breakdown valuable, share it with your network and keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, stay adaptive, and stay ahead.